Good morning, ma'am. Can we start the session?
Yes, we can. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Hello. Good morning, everyone. On behalf of PES Modern College of Pharmacy, Nigri, I welcome you all to short-term training program sponsored by AICT on innovations in effective teaching, learning pedagogy, and research skill development. I welcome our honorable guest, Dr. Shubhada Nagarkar. She will be delivering a lecture on predatory journals and how they damage the reputation of researcher, institution, and pollute the scientific and other disciplines. Dr. Shubhada is a Fulbright scholar and currently assistant professor at Department of Library and Information Science and coordinator at Center for Publication Ethics CPE at SPPU. At CPE, she has been instrumental in maintaining the research portal of SPPU. Since 2018, she is a member of Empower Committee of UGC CARE and coordinating the UGC cell for journal analysis established by UGC in 2019. She is a recipient of travel grants from National Science Foundation, Ford Foundation, OCLA, USA, and GBIF. Her areas of research are bibliometrics, publication ethics, institutional repositories, and digital libraries. She has been publishing, popularizing library and information science articles in newspaper and blogs. She is a yoga teacher too. I kindly request you, ma'am, to deliver a session. You are a host now.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. I think you are Shubhada only. Uh, so thank you so much. Let me share the screen, and I think I will share my PPT. So if you can't, I prefer not to record my session if possible, because I have certain information about publishers. So it's better not to record. But even if you record, keep it with yourself. Don't put it online on YouTube or any other channel.
Yes, madam. Yes, we'll definitely take care of that. Surely, madam.
Yes.
Your host now, ma'am.
Yes. Let me share my PPTs. Can you allow me to share my PPTs?
Yes, ma'am. You are a host now. You can share.
Okay. Can you see this?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Let us first of all, that thank you very much for inviting me for this session, and I'm going to take you around very quickly about predatory journals. There are many more things to be learned in this lecture, but I also want to tell you that on this topic we can take 2 days seminar or 2 days workshop even, and we have done that. So tell everything about in an hour is difficult, but I will try to cover everything whatever I feel that you should know as a researcher. I hope many of you are PhD students, so let me make it a little bit interactive sometimes. So overview, what I'm going to talk today is predatory journals, background, why predatory journals came in, what are the causes and consequences, and some examples I will share with all of you. So let me tell you first with this small figure that publications as a basis. Publications are sociological foundation. And if you see, because of our sharing of information from one person to other, and from community to again one person, is a foundation of the or sociology. So if we see that if I know something more and I want to share with others too, so there are channels that I can tell orally, or I can tell through writings, or writing maybe in newspapers to several channels, and nowadays we have many more channels, online channels. So but is it, I have to think twice that whether I'm sharing this, is it going to helpful to the society, or it is going to be damaged certain part of the society, or what is that? So that thinking, which is good and which is bad to the society, is a kind of ethical issues we always discuss. So your personal knowledge becomes social, and again social knowledge by if somebody picked up becomes personal knowledge. And I think libraries are in between. They are exchanging the information, and nowadays there are many channels they exchange this information. So please remember that publications, whatever you are publishing, are the sociological foundation, and that long back Kemp has mentioned through this image. So I wanted to share that. So what general questions researcher has? How to select good journal for publication? I have done the research. Now, who will help me to identify the good journal? And what are the predatory journals? Do I have to pay for it? Is it an index journal? So if I say on each of this point, we can have 1 hour lecture or more than that. So when index journal concept is not familiar with many researchers, I will try my best to talk about it little bit. Then is Google Scholar is an indexing database. Many times the researchers ask me, even they call us and send mail that whether Google Scholar is indexing database or not. Then are Google Scholar citations are valid? And what is a publication misconduct? All these questions we have in mind when you start your research. Even after completing your research, if you want to publish, these are the questions which we received even in email. So what is an academic journal? So journal is one of them. I'm not going to talk about books and other material, but basically because all of you are researchers and you are going to you are going to select academic journals for disseminating your research from your laboratory or your field of research to the society. Academic journal is a vehicle, and that journal has again a long history. So this journal, academic journal, started long back in 1665. That was first journal was Royal Society Journal. And I think I don't want to go into history part, but it has a long history. There are still some journals which published from 1820 or 1850s. Still they are publishing, of course, in science field. And these journals are even still publishing very high kind of research, very credible or high quality research they are publishing. They are known for it. So anybody wants to publish, it is very difficult to publish in those journals, which are very old journal. So these are distinctive forms of journal than other types of journals like books and book chapters or conference proceedings. But journal, for example, in these days, especially COVID-19, we know that many times people come to know about several journals like Lancet Journal or New England Medical Journal and many other journals where lots of research about vaccine and related to COVID is publishing. And it is reaching to the people through newspapers. So people come to know about a society that academic journals has huge value. So it involves, if you see academic journal, is again is known for its credibility. For example, any academic journal, always we get a very basic question whether it is a peer reviewed. Any academic journal is peer reviewed journal where there are 3 people involved, like academicians, editors, and reviewers. When these 3 are involved, that means academicians or researchers, those who are sending their research through this journal to the society. So there are gatekeepers in between, like editors and reviewers. They will go through your research, what you have done. They will check it, whether it is good for the society or not good for the society, whether it will have any other implications or not. So it will go to reviewers, it will come back. Then you have to follow standard forms and styles and many other things come in academic writing. You have to follow. There should be a research integrity. Basically, your research should be ethically done. I'm not going to talk on research integrity and ethics in research. It's a vast topic, but there are a lot of material is available. I will show you where to see that. And then these journals are published very regularly at regular intervals. And most important that they employ referees, that means experts in that field, and that is why peers, what we say peers, and peers mean expert in that particular field. And peer review means whatever they have reviewed, if they follow, if they see that there is a good research in particular this article or whatever you have done, then it will go further and get accepted. Imagine we will talk what my lecture will be. First, you should know few things, and then second part will, you should not follow whatever I'm going to share in the second part. So first part is you should know about it. Then standard publishing practices, you should know that there are editorial board, peer review policies, processes, article submission procedure, peer review procedure, revision and resubmission, time span for publication, like turnaround dates, when you will submit, when you will get back and other things, and archival of publication. And accessibility to your research should be there, whether it is a print, whether it is online or both, but there should be some accessibility. If it is not, then how it will reach to the society? So these are some standard publishing practices. You should know about it. Then every researcher should know these terms, whatever I have displayed here. You should know about open access and subscription based journals. We will have question answer session at the end. I will try to keep 15 minutes for that. Let me go through quickly through the presentation and what I want to share, because I know there are questions on open access, maybe open access and subscription based journals. Open access subscription based journal is usually called library model, that libraries subscribe the journals and make it available to the users. Open access in the sense libraries are sidetracked, they will not come in. Either user has to pay the charges, and user in the sense author has to pay the charges, and it will go to publisher, and publisher make the article open or research immediately. That is open access. But open access has, again, I need 1.5 hours or 2 hours on to talk on open access, but few things I will cover that you should know about it. So open access journals are generally known as a green and gold open access. Green is your subscription based model, and gold is pay and pay. You have to pay for it. Article processing charges, what they call is APCs, but that also it has to be paid after accepting your paper. After peer review process, they will ask for APCs because they don't have any print counterpart of it, print version of it, and then it will put it online after accepting and after peer review. Very stringent criteria they have. Then you should know about a Creative Commons license. If your article is going and online immediately after acceptance, you should know that there are copyright laws, and each of this article has, or research paper is copyright, and nobody can violate. So nobody can copy and paste, and that is why we have plagiarism check software tools came in, because when your research become open, it may be get copied by others, and they may reuse your, or maybe paraphrase your article, and that may happen. That is happening. So you need to know about Creative Commons licenses, which are applicable for electronic resources, and there are six such licenses. Then each, as per your information form, it will get, you can assign that license, but which is based on the copyright laws. Preprints, you should know that before sending it to any journal, there are preprint servers like Faculty 1000, or there are many more, Physics Archive, BioArchive, or some other Chem archive, where you can upload your article without any peer review process, and then it will get comments by the society or experts, and then maybe certain journals will get accepted. But many journals and publishers have their preprint archives also, so you can first put it there, let community or society comment on it, or experts comment on it, and then it will get accepted. But again, on preprint, we need 1 or 2 hours to talk about it. Institutional repositories were very much linked to the green open access, which is a subscription based journal. So there was a moment called when I publish my paper, it will get online, or if it is an electronic format, and if publisher can allow me to put it on my personal website or on ResearchGate, then I can put it there, but only after 8 to 12 months after the publication. So many institutional repositories are existed where all papers are, faculty members' papers are get indexed there or uploaded there. You should know research metrics, that after publishing papers, you should know what are the citations received for my paper based on citation impact factor of the journal and many other matrices. Then standard setting organization like Committee on Publication Ethics, they are continuously guiding about the ethical issues and especially related to publications. Retraction of papers, once paper get accepted, then it will may get retracted because of somebody has claimed that there are image manipulation or data manipulation. Papers get retracted. So such journals may not be good, but there are standard journals which are then get they retract the papers, but you have to check how many papers are get retracted, and then the predatory journals, which I'm going to talk now. So these are gold and green open access. I have just now talked about it. So let me quickly go through. These are the some of the examples of gold and open access mega journals. There are mega journals, open access mega journals, and they charge US dollar 1,500 to 3,000 and more than that sometimes. But these are mega journals, some of them. So there is no periodicity as such for these journals. You can submit your journal, it will get peer reviewed and get accepted and immediately come on open access platform. So you don't have to wait for it, wait for 6 months or 8 months period, but then you have to pay for it, but only after the accepting your paper. And this is little bit difficult for Indian researchers to pay such a huge charges. So better to go to green open access. These are the Creative Commons license you should know. You should also know the research measuring criteria, that is citations. Citations are used for various purposes, like to calculate impact factor, H-index, I-10 index, XJR, and SNIP. So citations are extremely important, how many citations you received. But those should be received like there should not be any false citations in those numbers. I will talk about it. Be aware of the bogus citation. For example, if you see these 3 citations, there is no year mentioned here. And some predatory journals, they allow to write down such bibliography. Many standard and credible journals first check into your bibliography, whether your bibliography is a standard and you have done a good literature review, then only they check abstract and usually they check bibliography. If these 2 things are not up to the mark, they immediately reject the paper because you have not followed a standard bibliography, even not a format, and they check your all references. So be aware that if you if you copy and paste, if somebody copy and paste so many citations from others papers, and if they have such kind of bogus citations, your paper will also get rejected. Then these are again another example of citation, bogus citation, that is phantom reference. So some journals, they give you guidelines how to cite how to write references at the end. Somebody has copied that paper and then it got cited. So such paper is not existed at all, but still that was copied somebody and get citation without blind citations. Nobody has checked whether paper is available or not. It was just given an example on Elsevier, some one journal, but it's still happening. So if such things are there in your references, then paper may not get accepted. So impact factor, I will not go in much detail. So, but impact factor is given by JCR, Journal Citation Report of Clarivate Analytics, which is Web of Science database. And it get very interestingly, it has 3 years of window period. For example, if you see this health economics, papers published in 2007 and 8, and some of that 182, and citations for 7 and 8 received in 2009. If you sum of this and if you divide by it, then you will find out the impact factor of the journal. So impact factor of the journal is based on citations. So be aware of any fraudulent agency which gives you impact. Only one company is giving impact factor. Now come back to the predatory journals. So I shared with all of you that what you need to know before we go into predatory journals. So if you have questions, just write it down and we will I will come back to the answers. Why publications in predatory journals? First, let me why it is. So all of us know that we need to get promotions, and especially we have a publish or perish pressure, that unless we publish, it will get perish and we will not get any academic higher qualification or academic position. So fear of lost job and the publish or perish pressure. Failure to publish in journals indexed in world recognized databases. So there are if my paper is not getting accepted in Web of Science journals or Scopus or any other index database, then I maybe think of predatory journals that they will publish my paper immediately and I get marks and I get maybe promotion or some for academic other purposes I can apply. Rejection of standard or respectable journals due to inadequate research skills. So maybe my writing is not up to the mark, or maybe I have selected wrong journal, or maybe research is having not that much of justification, and that is why I get rejected. Competition among colleagues, that I have desired to score higher and gain respect. That is another psychological aspect. Then lack of awareness among researchers and new faculty members about the predatory journals. We do not know. We have recently conducted one survey. So please visit to University of Pune page. On the scroller, we have published one. We are collecting we are collecting information from researchers about predatory journals and publication ethics. So you can participate in that and reach to us that what you want or what is your knowledge about predatory journals. Then if you see the definition of is that they have exploited the open access academic business model. So open access model is a business model that you have to pay, as I talked in earlier slides, that you have to pay but only after accepting your paper. But that model is exploited by predatory journals and they just follow pay and publish model. So you have to pay the money and you will get publish your paper. There is no peer review policy or not. I will talk about the characteristics of this journal. Jeffrey Bill, who first worked on these predatory journals, and he started his open access portal or blog, and then it was remained for 2012 to 17 or 18, and then it was shut down because of lots of pressure from these predatory publishers and maybe open access publishers. So it was closed down, but he was the first person who started talking about predatory journals. Then after that, there are many definitions came in, that like Committee on Publication Ethics, which I said that we should know about it. Then what it said, that for profit open access journals, generally these predatory publications are for profit. They are not considering your research. They are not focusing on peer review processes. They just take your paper and publish. So imagine how much it may harmful to the society. So David Moore and others, they said that it is self-interest at expense of scholarship and false and misleading information they give. So basically they are for the business and they just want to earn more money through publications. So they do not follow ethics, research integrity and publication ethics when they accept the papers to be published in these predatory journals. Then what are the characteristics of these journals? Let us see their titles. Like basic information, if you see titles are many times are hijacked, and websites of standard journals, especially they hijack. They prepare like a replica of the original website, and it seems that we fall prey because of it looks look-alike and it is looking similar way. So I send my paper there, and once you send your paper there, then it's gone. Remember that there is no comeback for your journal. They will publish it the way they want, or they will change the authors. They will do anything with that. So be aware of it. So generally titles are hijacked. Use of misleading words always there, like international, global, world journal, Asian journal, American in the title, without any international scope or without any international editorial board. Then they have again fraudulent and improper use of ISSN and logos of standard publishers. They change little bit in the logos and they change little bit in ISSN, or they hijack the ISSN and then they assign that. Subject usually multidisciplinary, interdisciplinary, and multilingual, even I forgot to write. Contact details, in case there are no contact details, they will give you form. There are no editors, some editors name, even if they give, those editors may not be aware of their names are included in such journals. And then false locations. Offices are locally available, but the addresses are from the foreign country. We came across such certain journals when we are analyzing journals for UGC Careless. Then editorial board, lack of information on editorial board members. Many editors are not knowing that they are members of this kind of journals. Then their contents are always low quality contents. There are several typing mistakes, and there are no relevance for one sentence to other sentence. Plagiarized text most of the time, because we did the plagiarism check of certain predatory journals and we found above 60% plagiarized text is available. Multidisciplinary, multilingual, as I said, and they are of course open access. There are no print version about it, but now I heard that many print versions are also coming in a predatory form. We'll talk about it. To simultaneous submission of manuscript, attempting to publish already published article or accepted article. Then I hope you are able to listen to me, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Then self-plagiarism, recycling of own words with an intention to deceive or mislead researchers. Salami publications, questionable authorship, sloppy research, all of these are again comes under research ethics. But so I'm not going to talk on all of them, but plagiarism and redundant publications, yes, they accept n number of publications even if on one project. So if you see next example, that this is example of Salami slicing or publication. On one project, they have published 33 papers. And if you see the papers, titles are similar, only thing, the geographical area is different. Everything else is the same one. So you should not do, we should not do such thing that on one project we are publishing 10 or 15 articles. So that is called Salami publications. Then lack of standard publishing practices. They do not have peer review process, or they write it down on website that they are peer reviewed journal. But if you see in depth or in detail, those editorial board members are not the correct one, and they do not follow any, because peer review process, you need 6 to 8 months for one paper to get published. But here they immediately accept your paper and publish within next day. Then they don't follow peer review. Remember those dates when you are submitting paper and when you are accepted, paper get accepted, that duration should be sufficient to get your paper reviewed. If it is immediate, that is only two cases. Your research is very excellent at par, there are no problems, they will accept it. But your research has nothing, and they you just want to pay and publish something, then there is a question. That attracting academicians to serve as editorial board. So certainly you will get email that you are on the editorial board of this and this journal, and then you get very happy that, oh, I am on editorial board, and then you accept. And then later on, when you realize there is something fraud, then we get such mails that now my name is added, what to do. They hardly then contact you and they remove your journal. Remember, before accepting such kind of invitations, remember that these predatory publisher exploiting your name, and once your name is online, it will get catched everywhere, including LinkedIn, Facebook, or Instagram, or any site. It will get searched, and then there will be a problem. And these people, they never remove your name, even though you said that I don't want to be an editor on this journal. So be careful. Articles are accepted only after the payment of submission charges. They never accept after accepting your paper. High acceptance rate, because they accept everything, because they get money. Lack of publication ethics, peer review, and retraction policy. Even papers will not get retracted. Article submission guidelines are not given. Quick turnaround time, that you submit today, within 2 days. If you pay more, we will submit within an hour, or if you pay more, we will give you paper backdated, which is very, very harmful. Then false metrics, as I said, metrics, it is again a big topic to be discussed, but you get high impact factor number, journal impact factor number, or For example, unscientific methodology for calculating those impact factor values. They varies based on the charges, and more than 20 to 25 such false impact factor providing companies are existed. For example, universal impact factor, global impact. So they give you fabricated one. So if you pay, they will give you 7 or 8 number. But remember that this will not get accepted in any university now because of the rules of UGC. Then the false indexing database. Indexing database means your journal get indexed in maybe Web of Science, Scopus, or MLA directory, or some other good biological abstract, chemical abstract, or many abstracting databases are available. I think there are more than 10,000 such, or few thousand, more than 5 to 10,000 databases are existed. So you have to check in which journal it is in. And if you want, you can use WorldCat or Ulrich periodical directory, which is made available from JCAR library portal. It is subscribed by the JCAR library. And if you give the name of the journal, you will get everything. There are many such journal details and policies of the journals providing agencies are available. You may refer to them. Then so they have false, or again false indexing databases. Then these are false impact factor companies. They make you fool that we are giving you real impact factor, but it's not. It is only from JCR and of Web of Science Clarivate Analytics. It gives only impact factor to 11,000 journals. They are not giving more than that. So only 11,000 journals out of several thousand. I think Ulrich Periodical Directory has registered 3 lakhs journals. Out of that, only 11,000 journals are of having impact factor. Then types of predatory journals, there are shoddy or sham journals. For example, they follow pay and publish model, and they are easily recognizable as they contain text with grammatical errors and literally nonsense. I came across one software tool which creates paper automatically. So you have to give input of few keywords, few sentences, and output is your paper. But that paper is very funny. I have read such papers. There is no linking from first sentence to second sentence, but to immediately it impress so much that it is very high level English, and what kind of paper formatting they have done, that general person will not immediately understand that this is a machine generated paper. But then there are tools which recognize such kind of machine generated tools. So very interesting. You can find out more about it on Google. Hijack journals, they are difficult to recognize, and they are the and they mimic the reputable publications with logos, names, and website. Clone journals, these are especially for authentic print-only journals. So we have found some more than 25 such clone journals about print journals which are indexed in UGC CARE, and certain publisher, they exploit the name ISSN, they hijack the website, and then not website is not there, but they hijack the name. And recently we came across that MS Baroda University's, which is very oldest journal and only in print format, some publisher, predatory publisher, copied everything, including first page, second page, editorial board. Only the difference is content level, and we have made it available on the UGC CARE website. Please go through it. So don't fall prey with such publishers. They have filed a complaint, police case they have done. So, or maybe with cyber crime branch, they are working with. Then the fourth one is crony publishing, that institutional publications, that one institute come up with a publication, all their members are on editorial board, and all faculty members from that particular institute are publishing, and they are saying it is international global journal kind of. So there are certain types of journals. This is one clone journal example. If you see, this is Rasi journal. This is by Rock Art Society journal, and they publish information related to rock art heritage and India. And there are only related those topics like rock painting, engraving, and ornaments kind of thing. But it has been cloned. See the next slide. See the same, they have copied ISSN, everything, and they mention even UGC CARE, because earlier this journal is available in UGC CARE, but this is not. if you see their areas of publication, economics, youth affair, there is no relation with Rock Art Society, and even this name of the journal is very different than what they have mentioned. So this is, if you open this, and these publishers are very interesting that their pages will get first open, because many times they get searched and the original website may not come on the first on the Google, because it may not have searched, because the user is limited. This is very specialized society, and here there are many people, they have submitted their papers to this, and then they call us that what to do. See, once you have submit such paper in cloned or predatory journals, there is no comeback. So your research has gone, and we cannot, no one can help you in that case. Check the clone list, clone journal list. I will not go into this care group 1 and 2, but if time permits, I will take you there, or you can go yourself, visit ugccare.unipune.acn, and then find out more details about these two clone journals, list of clone journals. Then what are the consequences of these predatory journals? Very interesting, and you should be aware of it. They are corrupt. It is a corruption in science and other disciplines. They are corrupting the science. They are like spreading. Yes. Can you hear me?
Yes,
Hello?
madam.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So then influence on key sectors such as human health. So if research results are published without scrutiny, doctors and other individuals may use false information. And this is the right time that we should know about the COVID-19. Every day some misinformation is disseminated, like it is equal to epidemic, it is infodemic also. Huge information is that just passing from one person to other without any proper scrutiny. So in addition, journalists or media may mislead people when they publish information without ascertaining journal credentials or predatory or legitimate. They should know which journal it is. And I especially when I saw the news and find out the journal names, many of these journals are predatory, and maybe journalists are not aware of it, and that may have happened. So that is why it is related to human health, and they are even very harmful to the society. Damage to the career of the researchers. Once your name is listed in predatory journals, your credentials will gone off. You may not stand in that then the research community, because then people will see towards very suspiciously what this person has done, paid and published. You may not have any high stand in the society or in the research community. Damage to the institution reputation, that you can understand what will happen. Loss of money and important waste of time and efforts. So instead of considering such journals, and it's better to work hard, do a research very honestly, and follow publication ethics, and then publish your paper. There are several thousand journals. Like we always say there are no journals, and how can we? So if you see, there are more than 3 lakh journals. And even though some of them are not indexed in any databases, you may not get the marks, but not necessary that journals should be indexed. There are plenty of journals which are not indexed in, may not be necessary in Scopus and Web of Science, because their subject area is different. There are several arts and humanities journals which are indexed in MLA directory, and that is why we have included in UGC Care, because arts and humanities people, they are not able to write papers, but their performance based, their art and their performance is important than the research papers. But there are many such kind of things are available, and especially medical field is very critical in case of predatory journals, or maybe pharmaceutical. So what criteria to be checked? ISSN. Check ISSN is not that way very important, because it is useful for only libraries and not for individual, because ISSN is just the number, like a roll number of a student in a class. So that is useful for only libraries to track the book, nothing else. So in UGC Care, there are many journals which do not have ISSN are also included. because those are print journals, language journals, very old journals, and they are not aware of ISSN number. Yes, we are continuously telling them that you can take ISSN, but that doesn't matter at all. Impact factor, publisher address, check publisher address, editorial board address, check the credentials of editor, whether editor has written anything and in which journals editors they have written their published their research. Impact factor, whether it is legitimate or fabricated. Index journal, if it is only Google index journal, don't go for it because Google is not an indexing agency at all. Then publications of chief editors, check the credentials. Publication charges, check it when they are asking for, whether after accepting or before. Publication in short duration, that we will publish immediately. And journal back volumes, at least if these few things, if you check before you submitting your journal article, would be helpful to you. So battle against the predatory journals. Yes, in India, UGC care list is a battle. And first started with Jeffrey Bell. Then there is a Center for Journalology in Ottawa, Hospital Research Institute, Canada. David Moore and his group is working on that. K-Science List is, or Science List organization from Kurdistan, is another group of people. They are coming up with list of predatory journals. Cabell's is commercial initiative, but Cabell's Scholarly Analytics, USA, they have two products like Journalalytics and Predatory Reports to universities and academic institutions. But it is of course subscription based. There is no, but immediately you will come to know the whole history of that journal. Then you must check this Committee on Publication Ethics website, World Association of Medical Editors. Think Check Submit is very interesting website, where you will get step-by-step guidance how to select journal, how to submit a journal. Before submitting, they have given some kind of guidelines. Retraction Watch is another website that you must see for the retracted papers. Which journals, high number of papers are retracted and what are the reasons. They have open database in a public domain. Please check it and search many articles which are retracted and the reason. Most of the reasons are plagiarized text, image manipulation, and authorship problem. Authorship problem is that I will not discuss, but somebody has done the research and their name is not included. That kind of problems. Then, so to conclude with, I want to conclude so that we can have more some question answer session we will have. So research integrity, your research should be good. So good research will have good publication. So you should follow research integrity, ethics and moral in research. Publication ethics, avoid falsification, fabrication and plagiarism, and again self-plagiarism. You should not you should not plagiarize your own text into the new paper. Then be aware of various policies like publication ethics, plagiarism, and author paper submission policies. All policies, you should know what are they. And COPE is a good website that you can find out all details. Identification of good authentic journals, and you should not fall prey with predatory and clone journals. Understand the difference between submission charges and article processing charges. You should familiar with various research metrics, citations, impact factor, H-index, SNIP, SJR, and others. You should familiar with standard setting institutions like COPE, as I already said. Then I just want to stop here. So remember, this is very good Latin proverb I found. Spoken words fly away, but written words remain forever. So once you publish in any predatory journals, it will remain for a long time, and maybe it will damage, maybe harmful to the society. So written, whenever you are writing, be careful, and your name should not get linked with any predatory journals. So thank you very much. Let me ask some question answer session or answers to questions. I think there are certain questions already in a chat box. Let me see. There are certain. Yes. Let us see what are the questions. Okay. Is there any, I think, first question by Kupse. KUSPE. That is there any website where we will get a list of fake or false journals? Yes, there are certain lists maintained, which I have mentioned in my presentation, that Jeffrey Bell's list is still available, and it is by group of anonymous people. They are having updating online, so you can check it out. But instead of getting, because they are in several thousand numbers. See, this predatory journals number is, I think, somewhere I came across on Cable's directory website, more than 12,000 journals. So it is difficult to get that list, but you should aware how to differentiate between these two. And if you know certain criteria, automatically they will get filtered out of it. Then recently I submitted article to one journal. After revision, they accept my article. Their website says they will not charge, but accepting, yes, they are asking 6,000 rupees. So what to do in that case? Yes, you can tell them that you don't want to publish the paper, or you will make a complaint with COPE or some other agencies. So they maybe help you. In India, we don't have such kind of grievance cell, or maybe UGC will start that. So we don't have. So before publishing, they may not mention that they are charging, but accepting your paper, they may ask you. So don't send your paper there. Try to tell them that it is some reason that they will not publish it. Then Sarika is asking, very limited number of journals for pharmaceutical science is available. Yes, UGC care list is basically for social science, arts and humanities, because there are several thousand journals are available in science, medical science and pharmaceutical in Scopus Web of Science. Indian, basically those journals which are not getting place in international indexes or international databases, those are mostly covered, indexed in UGC care. And that is why UGC care list, if you see, it has more number of journals in arts, humanities and social sciences, but you can refer group 2 for pharmaceutical journals. Then all are requested to put the question, okay. After how long one can put their full text article on ResearchGate? Yes, good question. You have to check Sherpa Romeo project, where you will get all publishers' policies about making your article open on ResearchGate. Basically, each journal will have policy like 8 to 12 months embargo period, that during that period you should not, if it is green open access journal, which not all articles are openly available. If you pay, then after acceptance, they will make your article open and allow you to index anywhere, upload anywhere. But generally, all publishers' policies you need to check. And that is why I said you need to check publication policies, and you will get them on Sherpa Romeo project, which is in open domain. It is in public domain available. So check that copyright and everything they have given. Then there is another question, how to identify that the journal will publish our article within short period of time without, because they will ask you money immediate. If they want to publish it in a short period of time, they will ask you money, and or they will ask you money after that, because then you must have sent paper to them. And that is why before submitting, use think, check, submit website, or whatever characteristics I have discussed with you, apply them. Take some time, take few days, talk to experts, and then check the contents of that journal, whatever they have already published. Check the quality, who have published in those journals, their credibility. Then check the editorial board, their credibility, and then submit your article. Don't submit in a rush. Even if you don't get marks, that is okay. Even if you sometimes don't get promotion, that is okay. But if your name get blacklisted that you published in predatory journals, that may not be able to remove by any way. So be careful. Then what is the government role to stop such journals? Government has already taken that, UGC has already taken the step in creating UGC care list. And if you go to website, we have already displayed the list of clone journals, predatory journals, or those who are making duplicate websites of original. I just want to warn you that UGC Care list is also, UGC Care website is also somebody has made replica out of it. So when UGC Care list launched, immediately after second day, there was a clone of UGC Care website. And if you check, there are several such websites came in, but only one website is valid, that ugccare.unipune.ac. So don't check other websites. Then is it helpful that our reputed academic institution provide guidelines to publish? Yes, of course. That is why UGC has launched that 2 credit course. In those has to be done and compulsory for PhD students in first year of admission. And soon Center for Publication Ethics is starting this course for researchers, 1 month course. All details will be published very soon. So I think your research methodology papers also should tell you about all these things. If journal name is available in Web of Science, then is it recognized? Of course, Web of Science is a Clarivate Analytics database. It is an index database, and it has very high quality journals. And of course, it is recognized journal. But remember that these databases are also dynamic. So certain journals will remain certain years in Web of Science. And if Web of Science found that this journal is now not following standard publishing model, they will remove the journal. Similarly applicable to Scopus. All these journals, and similarly for UGC Care, none of the journal permanently in these databases. These databases are dynamic. So be aware of it. Then you have a question that if I publish in that year and if journal gets discontinued, if it is indexed only during that period, then your paper may get considered. But if after removing the journal, if you publish in that, then that may not be considered for your publication. And even that, UGC has appealed to all universities that even your journal, such journal is removed, and if you have published your paper, scrutiny committee should play a good role. They should go through your research, they check it, because that happens, that good quality research may get published in predatory journals, and good journals may publish some not good quality article, and it may get retracted. So that is happening. Only your part is do a good research, nothing else. Everything will happen if you do your research very well. Okay, differentiate national and international journal. That is another very difficult question to answer. But again, journal in which articles are published by members or researchers from all over the world, maybe international journal. But the subtle change identification at journal published in India, maybe national journals, or outside India, international journal. But in India also, Current Science and many other international publish journals which may not have international name, but there are many outside people they are publishing. So journal in which all over the world researchers are publishing is a good journal. You don't have to go into national and international because there is no such good definition for that. Then extracting the published article from Sci-Hub, is it ethical? It is not ethical. That is a black open access site, but it is available, and there was a big controversy with the government of India, and they banned LibGen and other websites for accessing this. But still Sci-Hub is like many good researchers and universities, they are providing support to Sci-Hub. So it's up to you. I can't talk much on that. That is a black list, black open access, what they say. Then there is a journal. Okay, whether all journals, those are ethical, are included in care list. Of course, whenever if you go to UGC care list, you will find algorithm. You will find a flowchart which is given on the website, that it comes through lots of scrutinies, and so it goes to first local regional universities, 4 centers. Then it will come to UGC care, UGC cell at SPPU. We check through certain criteria, and then it goes back to the Empower committee. They're also again checked, and then it comes into the list. And if after including in the list, any journal start following non-ethical practices, it will get removed in next quarter. So that is why list is dynamic, and always what Patwardhan sir is always said that this is a reference list of quality journals. It's not that you have to follow this, but it is good list. And if you check, each and every journal is scrutinized and added, and if found, it is removed also. So that way it is following all ethical practices. For those journals who are following ethical practices are included. If Indian published journal written international journal of pharmacy, can we consider? If word international is there, check the editorial board, that whether editorial board has any international faculty or editors involved in that, and their credentials, and whether people are from researchers from all over the world are publishing in that journal. Then only you can say it is an international journal. Otherwise, just by the name, don't go into that. If we didn't predict predatory journal and by mistake referred it, mention in our papers bibliography, does it affect authenticity of research? Yes, it will affect, definitely affect. People will check why you have, but if anyone check your research, it is, if it is authentically done, if it honestly done, then doesn't matter where you have published. But generally don't go into such kind of journals. I hope by mistake is happening. And what we are getting some information through that survey since yesterday, that many of 60% people are not aware of such kind of journals, and that is why such sessions should be organized. And that is why the 2 credit course will be soon launched, through which we will make you aware of it. I think we have time is less. Any other question? I think all of these questions I have answered. If you have any question, you can raise your hand, you can talk to us, no problem. Okay, as per the SPPU, to take credit of the paper, you must be the first author. No, not necessary. Not necessary that you should be first author. Not at all. Yes, if you are 5th author and you are corresponding author, then it matters, but not necessarily the first author. Corresponding author, that which is who is responsible for the whole paper. But that is not very important. You have to do a good research. That's all. Okay. Any other query? Otherwise, we will stop here. Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
So much, ma'am, for such an informative session. Now I would like to summarize our session in few points. So what we learned, what the basics of the publication in journals, then about the academic journals, which is distinctive from other forms of publishing, then open access journals, which you have to, means a user has to pay. Then there are green and gold types journal. Then one very important note we should take that about the copyright law. Such measuring criteria like impact factor, H index, and etc. Bogus citations. Yes, we learn about the bogus citation. We should be aware of it. Predatory journals. Characteristics of predatory journals. Then types of predatory journals. Consequences, like they are corrupting in science and other disciplines also. And criteria to be checked while publishing in a journal, like ISN number, publisher's address, impact factor, editorial office board, then publication charge, publication period, and journals back volumes. And we concluded that our research should be our research should be integral, and we can get all the details of the journals from COPE website. Am I right, ma'am?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. I would like to thank ma'am for sharing your knowledge, ideas, and your valuable time with us. Now I kindly request you to accept a virtual bouquet and certificate on behalf of our principal, Dr. P.D. Chaudhary sir, and STTP coordinator, Dr. Vittal Chopre sir, and I take this opportunity to thank ma'am and all participants for attending